Hey guys, I'm going to go over some of how to use a power drill. So this is a drill. I'm sure you've probably used one, seen one before. I want to go over what some of the settings are. Okay, first this is a drill bit. Okay, here is the chuck. The chuck is what opens, and you can put new bits in. Okay, and you close it right here. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. And you'll hear this click. You want it in there good and tight. When you're using a drill bit, a good tip is make sure it's straight. Sometimes these get bent, and if the drill bit's bent, it won't drill right. Up here, you've got your torque settings, okay? This is called a clutch, but this controls how much torque, and torque's how much pressure it puts on it. So you'll see in a second when I start drilling the screws that these settings will change how much power, but you can see you've got everywhere from 1 to a drill, and then some drills, not the ones I have right now, have a hammer, and that's a hammer drill, which actually means it moves the drill bit in and out like kind of like a jackhammer, and so it kind of like hammers while it's drilling. It's really good for going through masonry stuff like concrete, tile, that kind of stuff. Right here, this is the speed setting. So 2 is faster, 1 is slower. Reason why you'd want to change your speed, is because if you have a big drill bit, you don't want to go as fast. Okay, you want to slow down that speed because you've got a bigger diameter that it's spinning. Now, if you have a small drill bit, you want it to go faster. Okay, so generally, unless you're using a small one, it'll be okay. Unless it's tiny, that if you're on the 1 speed, but you see a difference in speed. 2 is a lot faster, slower. Okay, so here'd be an example of like a drill bit. If I was using this drill bit right here, like that, I would use a slower speed. Okay, if I'm using a tiny drill bit, like this one, I would make sure I'm using the faster speed. The one in the middle, it doesn't really matter. I'll probably stick to faster. It just kind of depends on what I'm doing. Okay. Come over here, I'm going to show you some things. So, when you're drilling into wood, and you want to put a screw in, you need to pre-drill your hole. And to figure out what size you need, you want to compare the drill bit to the screw, alright? And so you want your drill bit to be the size of that inside diameter there. I will always have a problem with students getting a drill bit that's a little too big, and these threads, the round spiral parts on the screw, don't have anything to grab onto, and they'll pull right out. So you're better going smaller than the core than bigger if you have to choose one. Like, I'd rather you get one that's a little bit smaller than bigger, but this is about the perfect size. If you can see that core that kind of runs down, the center of those spirals, that's about the size of the drill bit you want. Okay, and make sure your drill bit's long enough too. Sometimes you get those real long screws, you need a longer drill bit. So if I just drill into wood, a piece of wood, without screwing the hole first, I'll show you what. This is good wood, but it has a tendency to split the wood. Generally, you need to drill it with a hole first. You'll see it. So like right here, if I go in, and then I go right there. It's a lot easier and it's smoother. It doesn't split the wood up. If you keep doing this, the wood it'll make a crack go down the grain of the wood. So drilling that hole is really important. Okay, let's show you some. So let me show you what this torque thing is on here. Okay, so first I'm gonna drill a couple holes. use this drill because it's a little shorter. Now, when you get a box of screws and screws have a weird bit like this, a lot of the times the bit will be in the box. So, and a lot of times they paint it green, sometimes they don't. But so that way you know which drill bit. These star type bits hold really well. So, putting that back on. And now I'm going to go through here and show you what the clutch setting is. So remember these numbers. I'm going to go from drill all the way to number 1. Let's see how that goes. Hear that? It's clicking. It's clicking and it's not drilling in that screw very much. So now let's watch. I change it to 5, or we'll go into 6 here. Let's see how much deeper that puts that in. See how it started clicking? But now it's even. So a lot of times when you're making a project, you want to just get level or just under the wood surface, and you can use that clutch setting so you go down just the right amount, because otherwise, like if you look at this one, you see how I went into the wood, and you can go way deep into it. The drill will just keep going. A couple more things I need to talk about. You know, you got your battery here, you've got your trigger here. Right here, this is your directional control. See the arrows going back here? This is for taking a screw out. This one right here, see the arrows going in? This is for putting a screw in. Okay, and once again, you got your bit, chuck. This is your clutch, then it controls the torque, the amount of force. And if you go over that force, it just starts clicking. If you go on drill, it just goes as hard as it can all the time. Okay, and this is your speed, and that's pretty much it. You know, be very observant of what you're doing when you're going down and drilling under. One thing I didn't do a good job of here was I just kind of doing this on the table. If you can, use a vise. You know, this is one. Make sure you always pre-drill your holes. Selecting a drill bit that's smaller than your nail. Make sure you got the right drill bit. Play with your, I think, number, was it 6 that I was on earlier? That seemed to work pretty well. This could also change some going and add it through a different part of the grain. Maybe a little bit more. Let's go to 9. Perfect. Yeah. And so you will learn how to do that, and I don't recommend making a big dangerous thing with all these spikes. I shouldn't have done that. But okay, big drill bit, use a slower speed. This one right here, I need to talk about this. This is an impact drill. So a lot of people think this is a drill. It's not. It's what you do with this is actually, see how I've got these nuts and bolts on here, or like on a car? You can get attachments for this that will go over that, and instead of using a socket, which is what this is, you know, which can take a lot of time to sit there and do it. You can just put this right here. Another couple useful things, like some of the drills have like these quick release. This one has one built into it, but you can actually get little drill attachments to put in the chuck that just mean you can like quick release, put in your drill bits. So if you're doing a lot of stuff and you just need a quick release, that's how it is. You just pull it up and it comes out. All right, I hope that helps, guys. And this works the same way, the in, out. It doesn't have a torque thing. It's always got really high torque. So, all right, I hope that helps. How long did I go?